Champions are not born, champions are made. It is always a long and hard work, overcoming yourself and the capabilities of your body. And when for some people this process is a real challenge, others follow the path of sport easily and as if playing. That is exactly how Vladimir Nevzorov, a great Soviet judoka whose technique was admired by the best Japanese coaches, came to great victories. Vladimir Nevzorov was born on October 5, 1952, in the city of Maykop, Adyghe Autonomous Region, Russian Soviet Republic. From an early age, the boy grew up to be a very active child who loved sports. He was engaged in chess, tennis, and soccer, and he liked to run together with his friends. Nevzorov got into wrestling by chance. Once in jest he decided to wrestle with a friend, and in a flash he was on the floor. Leader by nature, which was Vladimir, this situation hurt and also spurred him to become better and stronger. So I flipped a coin to go to boxing or to wrestle. It fell out to go to the wrestling. I came, we were all lined up, about 200 people in a line. The coach, a young Adyghe guy, selected 80 guys and told the rest, when you get older, then come back. And we were like, no way. And we stayed, recalled Vladimir Nevzorov. That was the fateful time when Nevzorov met his first and foremost coach, Yakub Kobylev. This young mentor brought up a whole pile of masters of judo. In Vladimir's sports career, Yakub was not only a teacher but also a close person who led the young man to great victories both in judo and sambo. In 1970, Nevzorov won the Youth Sambo Championship of the Soviet Union. In 1971, he won the only gold medal for the Soviet Union at the Junior European Judo Championship. On the adult level, Vladimir for the first time won the sambo competition at the National Championship in Moscow. It was there that he won his first victory over Valery Dvoinikov, a confrontation with whom would decorate both Soviet and world judo for many years to come. At the beginning of his great sports career, Nevzorov was torn between two kinds of wrestling, sambo and judo. Both of them showed good results and won international tournaments. But following a proverb, if you chase two birds you will never catch one, Vladimir decided to concentrate on one thing and chose judo. Probably the reason was that unlike sambo, the Japanese kind of martial arts is an Olympic kind where there is a chance to win a medal on the main start of the 4 years. In 1973, Nevzorov took part in the World Championships, where he did not achieve any particular results. The athlete himself claimed that he was sued. By 1975, Vladimir was already quite different, having won 2 gold medals at the European Championships, 1 individual and 1 team. He was on his way to the World Championships in Vienna. In Austria, Nevzorov confidently reached the semifinals, where his opponent was Japanese Kuromoto, one of the favorites of the tournament. Vladimir had been preparing for this bout and had studied his opponent's technique and moves, so he knew his trademark hold down. The Soviet defender swiftly performed a painful hold and triumphed. Waiting for Nevzorov in the finals was his compatriot, Valery Dvoinikov, whom Vladimir had already defeated, but in another kind of sport, sambo. Valery Dvoinikov was in good shape by the time of the World Championships, but I knew his one weakness: he was bad at doing splits. Nowadays you have to do splits as a child, but we began to do them at 19. It was easy for me to do a catch-up with him, because he didn't do splits. Well, that's how it ended, said Nevzorov. So, for the first time in the history of the sport, on the first step of the podium of the World Championship went up the representative of the Soviet Union, Vladimir Nevzorov. It would seem that the winner of the World Championships would automatically be selected for the Olympics. However, everything was not that simple in the Soviet team, where 2 strongest competitors, equal in their strength, competed for the same place in the 70 kilograms class. Voinakov and Nevzorov were competing hard in preparation for the Soviet Union Championships, which would decide the outcome of their trip to the Games. Being in one team, they were sent to different gyms with their personal trainers and put in maximum effort and were determined to fight like it was their last duel. Tension was huge, and at the national championship in a decisive meeting, two judokas in a persistent struggle to find who will go to Canada. Nevzorov won, but Voinakov was forced to change the category to go to Montreal. There he was not left without awards and lost only in the final to a Japanese, thereby winning silver. Who were the favorites in the weight category up to 70 kilograms? Of course, the representatives of the Soviet Union and Japan, and all predictions were correct, because in the final, these two athletes met on the tatami, Vladimir Nevzorov and Koji Kuramoto. When I was told that I had to prepare for 10 opponents, I said that I would prepare for 2 of them, Valery Voinakov and Kuramoto. Valery was not my opponent in the Olympics because he moved to a heavier weight class, so the only target was a Japanese. Do you know how we prepared? We had 12 people who studied Kuramoto's technique, and I fought with them. 4 times a week, 12 people, 3-hour training sessions. Everything was worked out by heart, recalled Vladimir Nevzorov. And such persistent training helped Vladimir to win. Neither a severe painful hold performed by the Japanese nor a controversial moment of judging interfered with the Soviet triumph, to which even the Japanese coach Isao Okano paid attention in one of his interviews, telling that the Soviet judoka was awarded the highest mark, Wazari, although it was worthy of the Ippon. After the Games, Nevzorov, now as Olympic champion, won the 77 European Championship in individual and team competition, and in 78 he won silver at the Continental Championships. Probably, many people expected a repeat of his success at the domestic games, but Vladimir's old injuries made themselves felt, and it became more and more difficult to continue to compete on the tatami. Having finished his athletic career, Nevzorov did not leave his native judo, and now he is a member of the Presidium of the Judo Federation of Russia.